Hey guys, welcome to the My Performance Health podcast. It's Michael here, and I'm joined with, once again, Dana and Bailey, and we've got a great topic today. Very useful, I think, for our audience that's a ladies. Good for guys to understand maybe as well.
Yes.
But this will be a big one for the ladies, where we're going to talk about like building the bikini body, what that looks like, why ladies sometimes want to build the bikini body, and also how to do it. And not just a bikini body, but like a fit physique, right? That's what we do at Mind Performance Health, whether it is with clients that compete or whether it is with clients that don't compete but want to look fitter or want to put on a bikini and feel confident and have that physique. We're going to cover those details today. So Dana, let's go. Let's get into it.
All right, so building a bikini body, let's start off with what is a bikini body?
Well, let's cover that out. Now, we're talking about a label, right? Everyone may have a different definition of this. I'll talk on what usually I see, and then I'll get you guys to say your thoughts as well, right? So when I think the bikini body or a fit body that usually gets requested by our clients or athletes to train towards, what I think of is ladies having a small waist, okay, a bit of the X frame, okay, so nice small waist, and there's different, I would say, details on like what I would categorize as fitness versus bikini. All right, so let's actually just stay on bikini for now.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is like the hourglass shape,
Yeah.
right? So we've got nice balance, proportion, symmetry, nice shoulders to waist ratio, a great waist to glutes ratio, and we've got nice balance in the lower body, not too much overpowering in the quads,
Yeah.
the lower body as well, right? We can put on a bikini, go to the beach, and feel confident in the physique, all right? And that's really what we talk about when we're looking at the bikini body. We're going to cover the nuances or the details of that, but that's usually when I sit down with clients. Now, competition's different. That's the requirements. That's what we've got to look for, right?
Yeah.
But when sit down with clients that want to build a bikini body to feel confident in summer or even in the mirror, that's usually what's requested, is that nice hourglass shape. Nothing too overpowering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? What about you guys? What do you think with my thoughts? You agree or?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely 100% agree. I think one of the common misconceptions of, well, wanting to build a bikini body is you'll have people come in who just go, oh, I just want my waist to come in. I want my waist to be smaller, right? Which is what you want when you're trying to achieve a bikini body, yes. But it's also understanding about building the muscles more so around your waist. And what I mean by that is building your lats, so building your back, building your shoulders up to give you more of that illusion of a smaller waist. It's not always just about losing weight around here. And saying that also like building your glutes as well, glutes, hamstrings, more so posterior for bikini body.
100%. Yep, it's not just, and just to reinstate what you've said, Dana, so I've heard it correctly and the audience heard it correctly, it's not just about fat loss, weight loss, right? You can
sculpting.
actually get that smaller waist by focusing on details, like we said, with the lats, the back, with the delts, right? Like I touched on the shoulder to waist ratio. Well, you know, if our waist is coming in, but our shoulders aren't improving, we've only got the waist changing the ratio.
Exactly.
However, if we got our shoulders coming out and our back coming out, the waist coming in, well, there's more of a ratio happening.
Yeah.
Same with the glutes. If our glutes are flat, right, and we measure that to the waist ratio versus the glutes are growing and coming out, that waist coming in, we have more of a ratio that way as well. So we get more of that sweeping look.
Yeah.
That nice X-frame like we touched on, okay? So it's not just about fat loss and weight loss, and sometimes that's confused.
Yes.
You know, ladies sometimes have a misconception, hey, I lift weights and look bulky. However, if it's done correctly, you can quite look the opposite of that
Yes.
if you work on the correct muscles. And not only that, the correct dieting techniques, because that's, you know, a myth in itself.
Yes.
Attention to detail with things will
Correct.
definitely take you far.
Bailey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, honestly, everything that you've said, Mick and Dana, you've touched base on everything. But it's just basically more attention to detail too. So basically, like Dana touched base on the illusion, really, of building those things around, not just the waist, but to make the waist even smaller by building everything else around it. So there's not much more than to say, you know, to build more on what you guys have said, really, touch base on it, really.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. All right, next one, why it's wanted.
Great question, right? As we wrote that down, we're like, oh, why is it wanted?
Yeah.
Before we started this podcast, and we were thinking. Now, it's wanted.
Confidence thing, I feel.
Yeah,
I feel
so
definitely
look, the simplest way is for us to ask the person who wants it, right? Why do you want it? And what usually comes out from my experience is confidence. Clients, athletes want to look more attractive, right? That's part of it. More comfortability. Get rid of frustrations. That's usually, or a challenge to challenge yourself throughout the process. Happy but not content. You know, you want to improve, because I think especially some demographics or some clients and some people want to keep progressing and not stay the same. So that's actually a quite open-ended thing, right? Maybe it is comparing and you want that, what someone else has. We've got to be careful with comparison. But usually confidence, attraction, a challenge, improving fitness, health, etc. Some reasons why it may be wanted, you know. Is there any elaboration from your thoughts?
No, not so much, but it's more so just definitely the confidence. I mean, I've had a few clients have come in and they said, look, I want that bikini look, and I always then throw the question back at them and say, what's the bikini look to you?
Yeah, good.
And then they explain really, and then touch base on basically what they think the bikini look is to them.
Yes.
And then elaborating them and giving them knowledge of what the bikini look is, and basically explaining everything that we really just touched base on just then. But it does, I feel in my opinion, with my experience with clients, it does usually come down to confidence, of being comfortable in their skin, of not being able to get in their head or having that doubt, and being able to work towards something, be able to work towards your physique and yourself is nothing better really to improve your confidence within yourself.
Yeah, great stuff. 100%.
Yeah.
And Donna?
Well, yeah, pretty much very similar. In my experience with clients, it's been mainly just a big confidence thing. Also a challenge. They want to see kind of genetically what their potential is, you know, aiming for a certain look. Sculpting the body mainly, just changing, you know, the way that they currently look. Just a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
I totally agree, right? But we got to ask and see why they want it.
Yes,
right?
and
That's
also
one of the
what
biggest
that
ones.
looks like to them, because
Exactly.
everyone's different with that.
Exactly
exactly
right.
right.
Exactly. Now, the next part becomes, how do we do it?
Yeah,
Right?
how
Well,
do
we
we get it
know
done?
what we're shooting for, right?
Yeah.
Why someone may want it. And then it becomes, okay, how do we put it together to make it happen, right? So let's peel into that. Now, Dana, what are your thoughts? How do we get this physique that is quite commonly
Yes.
desired?
I feel like it really, really does come down to the person. So, for example, if I have someone come in who's like, let's say, very petite, you know, not a lot of weight on them, not a lot of muscle, it'll be about, okay, building muscle up, building calories up, and then targeting, you know, the areas that we need to target to get that shape. Versus if you have someone that comes in who has, you know, to start off a bit more weight on them, you obviously focus on losing a bit of weight first, so then you can kind of see just genetically what their shape is.
Yep. Perfect. So different phases, different ways to go around it, depending where they're starting at.
Yeah.
Will depend what phase they go through, whether it's a building phase, a lean building phase, or whether it's like a fat loss specific phase, right?
Yeah.
And I'll touch base on training too, which comes back to attention to detail. I mean, like Mick says all the time, if you got to look at the selection of exercises too, of reasons of why. If it's a random exercise, random results, as Mick always says. So looking at the attention to detail in saying like, okay, cool, we've mentioned glutes, shoulders, we want the waist to stay in. And I think the importance of your exercise selection then is very, very important. Okay, so then obviously the things that you want to improve, all your selection of exercise and the volume and your attention is going to be into the glutes, it's going to be in the shoulders, it's going to be in the back. So having an understanding of why the importance of why you're doing the exercises is going to help too. And like I just said, random exercises, random results. So the why of what exercises you're doing is important too.
100% exercise selection, attention to detail.
Yeah.
No randomness, like agreed. Like when people
Everything
see
has a
us,
why.
we want more attention to detail. Better attention to detail, better the result, right? We're not running through random boot camps, random group classes, nothing like that. We're paying attention to the ratios, the look, the photos, the measurements, towards that result, because if a specific result takes specific measurements and specific program. And once again, on the same page with you guys, which is great. But agreed, we need to see where the person is starting at. We understand where we want to go, but we get the measurements. Where are your ratios
Yes.
at? Waist to shoulders, waist to hips, where's your body fat at? Okay. Scale weight, sure, but these are a little bit more specific.
Which is going to help your decision
Yeah,
making.
your
too.
photos. We look at your photos, how your posture is, where are the imbalances, where are your muscle imbalances that we need to improve, or where do we need more balance and focus on. We get a baseline. Do you need to go into a more fat loss specific phase? Get the waist down. Still build muscle, but get that waist down and build the muscle in the right areas. Or do you need, or are you already quite lean? And you need to focus more on building muscle, which is a different expectation. Calories higher, we're focusing more on building the muscle and the slabs of muscle rather than just fat loss.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand exercise selection, Bailey, 100%. Do we really need to do the bench press, or are we going to be better to swap that exercise and focus more on the glutes, the delts, the shoulders? We only got X amount of volume we can recover on in a week, X amount of time we can spend at training. We want to make sure that's specific and effective. Right? And people, I don't think, understand that level of attention to detail to help enhance a physique. And which is why we do podcasts like this to help educate. You want to focus on the right areas for you. You may need more attention on the upper glutes versus the glute max at the back, the rear delts, the lateral delts, the lats, right?
It all comes down to who's in front of you.
Who's in front of you,
Where's
and
their
then you come
strengths?
up
Where
with the
there's
game plan.
weaknesses? Where do we need to work more? Where do we not need to work as much?
Yeah.
It's very important who's in front of you.
And look, as quick takeaways for the audience, even some things you guys can do. I really like to program with ladies upper and lower split. So in the same workout, you're hitting the upper body, the lower body. And usually in most cases, at least stimulating the muscle twice plus in the week. What I mean by that is you're working your glutes at least twice in 7 days, twice to 3 times. You're putting more frequency and priority on body parts you want to bring up, and maybe less on others that you don't want to when we're talking about an aesthetic look. Okay, it's not just about going to the gym and squatting as heavy as you can or lifting deadlifts, because you have a specific look. But we want to get stronger over time.
Of course.
Because that's a sign the muscle is also growing. So it's that part too. Phases, whether you need to be in a deficit of calories, whether you need to be in a surplus of calories. It's going to take a couple of different approaches, but you need to have the right approach for where you're at right now.
I think as well, finding the right coach, right? Someone that is willing to go into like just the little details of it. Like over here, we have all different kind of targets and all different kind of like ways to measure as well. Like we do skin folds, we do scans, we look at measurements, photos, all of that to make sure that you are going in the right direction.
Fantastic, exactly. Like we literally have a sheet for different kind of categories and looks that I've found over the years where it's like, okay, bikini competitor did really, really well in this competition. What were their ratios? Waist to shoulders, waist to glutes, measurements, how tall were they, scale weight, everything. And it's like, we can use that somewhat as a baseline. How did they look? You know what I mean? Specific results, specific looks, you know? So we have targets, body fat targets, measurement targets for that look. So it is important. It's not just about getting some calories burnt or going to a class. That's great. And once again, you might lose a bit of body fat, but if you really want to maximize your time spent training, you can do that, but you need to get in the right environment, like you said, Dana, with a coach or some form of training to allow you to do it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think that's fantastic. Anything else you guys want to carry over from this topic?
No, it's pretty
I
good.
think that's pretty good.
Yeah, so I think there's some great takeaways there for our audience to dive into, specifically, like I said, for the ladies or those that want to learn how to kind of get this look. But Bailey, like I said, random training programs, random whatever, you get random results, right? Nice and specific is what I recommend. Get your right measurements. This is a fantastic one for our audience that really want to take their physique training to the next level, especially if they have a goal of feeling fantastic in a bikini, building more confidence, getting fitter. I would recommend that you really pay attention to the type of training you're doing, the environment you're in, to really maximize your time spent towards that result.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, thanks for joining me today. Looking forward, we're going to have a great chat in the next one for sure. And I think our audience had some great value with this. So I just want to say to our audience, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. If you're ever interested in our coaching program or other resources, you can check out our website, www.myperformancehealth.com.au. We've got our YouTube channel, podcast. There's other resources like ebooks, everything there to really help you take your own training to the next level. And if you ever feel like you need any help, whether it's online or face-to-face, you reach out to our team. We book in a quick call just to make sure it's a good fit, and we can help your goals, and then we can go from there and make it happen. You can join our community where we help transform bodies, and whether you just want to get into shape or whether you want to compete, that's what we're here to help with our mission, okay? So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.